2023. I think we all agree that 2023 has been an interesting year, that's for sure. Maybe all the tragedy that's going on in the world, a lot of crazy back and forth, a lot of stuff being more paid than ever, movies that usually would dominate the box office and the bombing. A lot of stuff that's definitely kind of worrying and all that stuff. Like, there's been a lot of crazy and insane stuff that went on in 2023. Like, a lot. Like, a lot of crazy and insane stuff that went on in 2023. And it's definitely not been a good year, crazy year for all of us, that's for sure. I think for me, I can at least say 2022 is a much better year than last year was, because again, I was dealing with the whole mood situation, I was stuck in a hotel for 3 months, and all this stuff with my dad. Like, it's a long story. I think I might explain in the previous video, I don't remember it's still up, but basically I was dealing with a lot of adjusting and moving and everything like that, so it's definitely an odd year, and this year, it definitely was a better year, that's for sure. So I did still have a fair share of anxiety and depression, and you know, where your mind just thinks like, oh, you just wasted your life, oh, you're just not gonna get anywhere, and all this stuff. And I certainly felt that way a lot of times during this year. But I definitely have a lot, but what definitely has helped me know that I read some of the best songs I've written. I've done a lot of exploring a lot more often. I actually feel like, the more I did about it, the more I actually really don't miss Florida, mostly because I felt like I was stuck for most of my life there. I've done a lot of karaoke. I basically also have a special job that I've actually loved and absolutely made me so happy and great. I feel like if I me living in Stone City, I feel like I do a lot more honestly in my days and everything. I also done stuff I probably wouldn't normally have done honestly. This year I went to like 2 Comic Cons and a concert, which is something I normally would never do honestly, but here we are. And I've basically just done more than I would normally do back in Florida. So it's like kind of a lot more freedom, independence. So there's definitely a few things I still need to work on. I feel like I still need to do as an independent person, but overall, as a year as a whole, this was definitely a much better mentally prepared year for me. And honestly, I'm being prepared for 2024. Because honestly, despite all the tragedy and everything, I have a good feeling about next year. I have a lot of goals set and everything. And of course, you guys saw a video I posted very recently. Again, I'm pretty much going to be transitioning from to YouTube, from YouTube to TikTok. So this is going to be the last video I'm going to film for this channel. Like, I'll probably still post videos every now and then. I don't think I'm going for like quick YouTube. It's just going to be like an every now and then kind of thing. Or if I think of like going to start a new series or whatever, I might do that. I also have the custom set. I also have when we do like certain reviews or lists or rankings, they'll be linked down in the description. But it's gonna be a mostly TikTok focused year for me, and I'm going to see how that goes. But yeah, this has been an interesting year. It's also been an interesting year for movies, considering like I mentioned earlier. A lot of movies really bombed the box office. Like, this has been the worst year in terms of box office since I started doing these reviewing movies and everything. Like, it's crazy there's only 2 movies this year to end up, making money in the box office, make $1 billion. Yeah, pretty much a lot of movies end up bombing and going not making as much as they should. Which is insane, honestly, because I'm so used to seeing like so many $1 billion movies a year. But yeah, this definitely that COVID really affected a lot of people's viewing experience, and also having them on the streaming services didn't help either. But in terms of quality, this definitely been a good year for movies, honestly. Like, it definitely took a bit for it to get going, but I think some really awesome movies. Some that are probably close to become some all-time favorites the more I watch them. Or something that I can see become all-time favorites. So, I'll say 2022 is probably still the best year in general for movies, but this is definitely a close second, that's for sure. At least in terms of 2010s, 2020s. I'm going to do my annual tradition I do every year where I talk about my favorite movies I saw in 2023. And again, if you guys want to know what is my most disappointing movie of the year, my most underrated, surprising, and worst, which feels I would normally do the year, I actually posted something on TikTok, so if you guys want to know what is my most disappointing film of the year, my most underrated film, my most surprising movie, and what I think is the general worst movie of the year, you can go check out my TikTok or my blog spot that I will both link down in the description down below, where I have my list of what I think of those films that disappoint me the most, the films that I think are underrated, just check out, the films that surprised me the most, and my in general worst, which I didn't always watch that many terrible movies this year, honestly, which is weird, honestly. Like, I've seen a few terrible movies, but not many, honestly. Of course, at some films I recently just posted my favorite TV shows of the year, my favorite first-time TV shows throughout 2023. I also did do a list of my favorite video games I played, first-time video games I played throughout the year, so you can go check those out. But now we get to what I think the films that I consider to be 20 movies in 2023. I consider to be fantastic that you should definitely check out. The films that I enjoyed the most. Again, disclaimers, this is just my personal opinion, my personal list. Of course, we're not going to have the same list, but that's just in general. But I would just love to know your favorites down below in the comment section. And again, I have not seen every movie that came out this year, honestly. I'm sure not because that will make the list, but I just never got a chance to see them because of certain reasons. So it doesn't feel me like it's on the list, mostly because I have not seen it yet. But I still hope you'll enjoy the list. And enough ramble, let's get to it. But of course, as always, before we get to the actual top 20 favorite movies of the year, let's discuss the honorable mentions, the films I still enjoyed this year, they just did not end up making the list. And the honorable mentions are Dream Scenario, Evil Dead Rise, Showing Up, Missing, Totally Killer, They Clone Tyrone, The Killer, Good Burger 2, Quiz Lady, Blue Beetle, Priscilla, You Hurt My Feelings, The Equalizer 3, Gran Turismo, Earth Mama, Red, White, and Royal Blue, No Hard Feelings, The Creator, Extraction 2, and the film that just barely missed my list, Wonka. All great movies, just did not end up making the actual list. 1, 2, 3, 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is at number 20. Ben, the latest team movie kicks off this list as being a fun, entertaining, and great animated movie. Definitely one of the better TMT movies that we got. Probably in terms of the movies, it's definitely part of my favorite, honestly. Not that I don't enjoy some of the other ones, but I never really grew up with those ones, or never watched them much, so. But this one's easily my favorite of at least of the movies that we have gotten. It's a very charming and fun and likable movie that just puts a big grin on my face, has great humor. The Turtles are probably at their best in terms of their charm, their interactions, and the team-ups. Quite nice style action, really unique animation, great voice acting. The Turtles actually act like teenagers. And it was a film that, again, put a big grin on my face, and I just had a blast watching from beginning to end. And now we get to one of my biggest surprises of the year, number 19, and that is Saw X. Yeah, a Saw movie ended up making my best list. I wasn't expecting that either, honestly. I was not expecting that either, honestly. And I'm not like the biggest Saw fan, honestly. I don't think I watched all the movies. Like, I definitely watched the films a lot of times, honestly. But I don't think it's one of my favorite horror franchises. It's one of the franchises where I think some are really great, but some are kind of bad, honestly. I think most of the later ones, honestly. I do really enjoy the first 3 movies, and I even one is actually towards Spiral. But by a landslide, Saw X is definitely my favorite. And like this film actually made me appreciate the other movies. It actually makes things sound like an actual true focus, because while he was a central character, he was kind of limited in those movies. But Tom Miller gets a lot more time to shine here. It's kind of what most of what you expect from a Saw movie, but just tweaked a little more, had a little more emotional depth. They make Jigsaw to an actual anti-hero. They talk about his best performance as a character. The traps are really fun. The central premise is interesting and engaging. Despite being a film set between 1 and 2, it's still a film I was very tense, I was very engaged by. Like, yeah, I'm shocked, honestly. As we watch it a couple times, I still enjoy it. It is definitely my definitive Saw movie, and honestly, it actually makes me excited for Saw 11. I never thought I would say that, but here we are. We'll get to number 18. I wasn't sure what thing coming into my number 18 film, that is Past Lives, but it is a beautiful and amazing movie. That's a very realistic movie and a film that I actually really was invested in. A lot of interesting screenplay, the great dialogue, the great structure and directing, the visual style, the excellent performances from its amazing cast, especially from Greta Lee and T.O. I hope I pronounced that right. It's a film that has very long emotion and realistic portrayal of love, the human condition, and has so many emotional moments. They don't. I mean, truly, in some ways, this film probably could be high because it's a film I usually love and adore. Maybe I think I probably prefer to rewatch the other movies more than this one, honestly. Again, rewatch factor is always like a big part of movies for me, honestly. But nonetheless, Past Lives is a movie that I definitely admire and appreciate. And there's no hard to see why this film was one of the most acclaimed movies to come out this year. Oh boy, I'm not sure how people are going to feel about this choice, but number 17 we have Beau is Afraid. Yeah, Beau is Afraid ended up making my best list. Again, this is probably the most divisive movie to come out in 2023. Well, probably one of the most divisive movies in recent memory. It's one of the movies that can tell people love or hate or in the middle. It's one of those a movie that caused a lot of discussion, and I think whether you do love it or you hate it, people end up just treating you terribly, whether you do like it or not. Which I think is one of the reasons why a lot of people end up kind of falling out of the movie community and all that stuff, or the film community, but that's a topic for another day. But obviously with Beau is Afraid being on this actual list, I'd say I'm on the low side of this movie. Again, it's a film that I enjoyed more than Midsommar. The latest film Ari Aster, who also did Hereditary, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite horror movies, period. And it's a film that's definitely not for faint of heart, for sure. I can easily see why people would hate this movie, but it's a film I admire thanks to its interesting portrayal of anxiety, Joaquin Phoenix's incredible performance, how it portrays anxiety, and of course the directing, the uniqueness, and it's a film that definitely is very long, which again doesn't make it the most rewatchable film in the world, which is why it's on number 17. But it's a film I definitely admire. I definitely appreciate what it did. I was invested from beginning to end. But again, I can see why people would not like this movie. Honestly, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, if you hate this movie, you can tell a person why." I'm not like that. Honestly, I can understand why. And for me, though, I do love it. It's definitely a unique experience. Now, coming at number 16, we get to one of the best comedies to come out this year, and that is Joyride. Again, a film that, on the surface, definitely is kind of cliched and just a typical R-rated comedy, honestly. But, while this can't be true when you watch it, it's one of the movies where I think it's both the performances and the writing that does elevate from being just a good movie, really just a highly entertaining movie. Again, for starters, it is actually funny. It's hilarious. It's one of the more consistent R-rated comedies I've seen in a while. I don't think any joke missed for me. I was busting out laughing throughout the entire runtime, which is, I think for me, what a comedy should do is to make you laugh. Like, if a comedy does make you laugh, it fails. And for me, this movie did its job well. Coming down with excellent performances from its cast, a story that, while it's cliched, is still very heartfelt, and you do feel a lot of heart and emotion, especially towards the third act. Solid music, great directing, which is filmed again. I laughed so much and had a big grin on my face throughout. This is definitely another comedy I can see myself constantly going back to. Now we move to one of the best comedies to one of the best animated movies coming this year, and that is Minona. A film I really had no clue about, honestly, until I actually looked it up. I was like, looking at a pretty interesting cast with Chloe Grace Moretz and Riz Ahmed. And probably it was supposed to be a Blue Sky movie, but again, Blue Sky ended up closing, so I'm not sure what to expect here. But here, again, it's a film that was very heartfelt, a film that had great themes to it, fantastic animation, pretty interesting and relatable characters, themes that I personally related to, great musical score, great characters, great voice acting. Just a perfect thing what you want from an animated movie that put a big grin on my face throughout, has great world building, has really interesting themes that it delivers. And he tells despite honestly being delayed a lot and everything, it has a lot of heart and a lot of passion behind it. So yeah, it definitely belongs on this list. Coming in at number 14 is one of the more recent movies that I saw for this list, and one of the couple movies that actually ended up making the actual list, and that is Godzilla Minus One. Yeah, a Godzilla movie actually made this list. Now, it's not next year. I actually do plan on rewatching all the Japanese Godzilla movies for the first time, actually, because I know like 20 or 30, if I remember correctly. The new ones I really see were after the American ones, like the 1991, the 2014, then 2019, and of course Godzilla vs. Kong. I think it's like the only like Japanese one I actually have seen. And it is a pretty heart-wrenching movie, actually, but with great message on survival skills, also has that crazy, insane Godzilla action that you normally expect. Unlike the other Godzilla movies I mentioned, minus Godzilla Kong, it actually has characters I actually give a damn about! I actually cared about the characters in this one. Not much the effects on the actual Godzilla, like, yeah, other people say, but it's the same that a movie that with this much of a budget had better effects than most of the movies that came out this year. That should tell you something. Again, maybe I'll rewatch this still kind of behind the list, but as right now, I think 14 is a good spot for this movie, but this movie that definitely genuinely surprised me how much I enjoyed it. Now I'm getting to my number 15 and my number 12, which are, I'm talking about both because one, they are actually different movies, they came out within the same month, so I've been talking about them. My number 13 being Creed 3, and my number 12 being Scream 6. And these are from definitely a little divisive, and I think a lot of people really love Assured, but I still love these movies. Like Creed 3, while it's definitely not one of the best Rocky movies, it's definitely still a fantastic movie that honestly, despite not having Rocky in it, it's still one of the most compelling stories in this franchise. Again, despite, Jonathan Majors, unfortunately, something like a person, all that doesn't go along with him this year. Unfortunately, him not being gang anymore. He did an incredible performance here. We have one of the best rivals in this entire franchise. Like, even involving his character here was just fantastic. And what he did with Dodge was great. I thought it was paced very well. And of course, the boss sequences are fantastic. As someone who's starting to get more into anime recently, I really mind the uniqueness that Mike B. Jordan did in terms of being a director. As that makes it curious to see what he does with the next Creed movies, as he's directed that one as well. Overall, a great movie and probably one of the more consistent franchises out there, honestly. I didn't realize how good a lot of Rocky movies are until I rewatched them, honestly, before the movie came out. And then there was Scream 6, honestly. And it's fortunate when the Scream franchise is now going, unfortunately, because, again, you could now, again, the two actresses, Mr. Bartone and Jennifer, end up leaving the project because one of them got fired for tweets that weren't really. And of course, the director ended up leaving and everything. Like, it's a great run here for what they're going to do with the next Scream movie, because it's apparently going to be a reboot now. Like, I don't even know what they're going to do in the next Scream movie. Yeah, but at least this will end up being probably the best sequel in the franchise, in my opinion. Okay, with some of the most brutal and bloody kills in the franchise, going into very interesting directions. The way brought back Kate Pantia's character was interesting. Despite being the first Scream movie without having Neve Campbell, of course, the main lead of the franchise, I thought they did a really good job actually of not having a BMA focus on the story. It's also interesting both these movies have in common is that they don't have the main leads of the actual franchises. Yet they still end up proving that they can do well without them. They end up being pretty interesting and satisfying movies that have a lot of emotion, a lot of hearts, and some best moments in these franchises. Now, just missing out at the top 10, unfortunately, it's at number 11. It's Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Now, the best about this movie is that basically, whether you're a D&D fan or not, honestly, I'm not really a D&D guy, though my brother is. This movie was a blast. It's a simple adventure movie that knows what it is, embraces it, and delivers on the goofiness, the fun, and the charm. And I think a lot of big D&D fans will get a kick out of a lot of the references. But as someone who isn't a big D&D person like myself, I still had a blast. It's definitely fun I can see myself come back to constantly. Again, a lot of thanks to the cast, who deliver great performances, and really interesting characters. Great world building, great locations, amazing visuals, great humor, a lot of good horror emotions, but lots of good acts, and some incredible action set pieces. Pretty much all you want in a good adventure movie, and it delivers. Now we're in the top 10, people. I hope you enjoyed this so far. Again, feel free to let me know what your list is down below in the comment section. All that stuff. Again, like I mentioned before, if you want to know my most underrated, my most disappointing, my most surprising, my worst films of the year, and also my favorite video games of the year, you can check out my TikTok or my Blogspot, which I'll both link down in the description down below. But anyways, now coming in number 10, we have Air. Probably one of the best sports movies to come out of recent memory, and a great return to form Ben Affleck, and continuing to prove why he's one of the best directors working today. And something like has not made a true dud, even about Night, which is film I used to not like. I actually enjoyed on my recent rewatch. But pretty much all those other movies to me, like Town, Argo, and God Be Gone, are fantastic. And there is definitely another success, honestly. A film that's definitely very simple in concept, but ends up being a very inspiring and interesting movie. And a lot of these things, the sharp writing, the heart, the emotion, and the performances from his cast, honestly. Like, it's definitely not something that's going like, it's not like revolutionary or anything, but again, it's not one of the things where the writing and the characters and the acting really elevate it. Now, coming in, number 9, a film that, surprisingly, I almost forgot to put on the list, honestly, but I gotta remember, because number 9 gets to what is my favorite horror movie of the year, and that is Talk to Me. A very uniquely told movie that's definitely very different than a typical horror movie. Again, that one movie that doesn't really use like general scares to scare you, but it doesn't in a great interesting way. A lot of thanks to the effects, the sound design, which is some of the best sound design in any horror movie. Find out with excellent performances from the cast. Not to mention the way it develops the characters, the way there's a trade hero is pretty interesting and compelling. Again, it doesn't have some pretty scary sequences that are definitely terrifying, but it's really the drama, the emotion, and how it's played here, and all the themes it tells. Makes it a pretty interesting movie, and makes it a film I was invested in from beginning to end. So a film I would not mind coming back to very often, and honestly, I'm definitely excited to see what they do with this sequel, actually. Now, coming in at number 8, if we get to another sequel on this list, and the last one's came out this year, but at number 8, we got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, honestly. Again, Mission Impossible franchise has never missed, honestly, ever since Ghost Protocol. Honestly, I even enjoyed the other movies, even Mission Impossible 2 to an extent now. Though it's always a good movie, but it's more of a enjoyment, not good movie, but I really love the other one, honestly. Best Ghost Protocol, they've been nothing but consistent. They're really no exception, honestly. Again, I still don't know what Mission Impossible movie is actually the best and everything, but the Mission Impossible 1 continues the success of the other movies. It has continuous exhilarating and kick-ass action that you expect from a Mission Impossible movie. It has great characters, the great banter, the great team aspect. Well, some nice little surprises in the story that really make it stand out, especially how it uses to tell a story involving AI and everything. I thought it was actually really interesting and unique. And again, like most of the part movies that came out this year, it actually leaves on a very satisfying note. It doesn't feel like it just ends at like the halfway points. Like, yeah. But yeah, another fantastic movie in this fantastic action franchises. Now, coming in number 7, we actually have a Christmas movie that made a best list in terms of 2020s, and that is The Holdovers. Now, I definitely see a lot of Christmas movies that came out, but some year range just solid to just kind of forgettable. Like, I actually saw like a feel forward to this year, and that's kind of most marked. But The Holdovers is the one that ended up just being what a Christmas movie really should be. Charming, heartfelt, great in story, likable characters, but all having that great holiday spirit that makes Christmas such a beloved holiday. And that's what this film does. Combine that with Paul Giamatti giving honestly one of his best performances and having a story that's actually heartfelt, emotional, and compelling. Yeah, this definitely is going to be a Christmas staple. This definitely is going to be a Christmas staple that I'm going to watch every year from now on. Now, coming in at number 6, just missing the top 5, we have The Boy and the Heron, the latest Studio Ghibli movie done by Hayao Miyazaki. And for the fourth time today, was going to tie back to make a new movie. But anything from the guy, I'm always on board, honestly. I'm not going to say much about this movie because it's one of those movies that is best to watch without knowing much about. That's how I went into it. Hell, I don't think they even showed that much what the film's about in the actual marketing. But yeah, it's kind of what you expect from Studio Ghibli at this point, with the amazing animation, themes, characters, music, great voice acting for everyone on board. I mean, English voice by Rob Pattinson, Christian Bale, Mark Hamill, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Willem Dafoe, like, stack cast in terms of the English dub. But yeah, I don't know whether this was stuck amongst like the best Studio Ghibli, but even the film that I was saying is like not in the top 10, the film still to be fantastic. That's how much Studio Ghibli still has hit after hit after hit, and Boy the Heron is another definitely classic for Studio Ghibli. We are now in the top 5, people! In the top 5 Studio Ghibli movies. And my top 5, I actually have a tie, actually. Yes, I actually have a tie for my number 5, honestly. which is, I know it wouldn't do much ties on these lists, honestly, but and both these movies are definitely different movies, but considering the event this film did, I end up putting him. But yeah, my number 5 is both Barbie and Oppenheimer, or Barbenheimer. Yes, Barbenheimer is my number 5. Both Barbie and Oppenheimer are in my number 5. I can't think which one I actually enjoyed more, honestly. Obviously, both are relatively different movies. Like, Barbie's the film I actually surprised I didn't enjoy much as I did, honestly. After rewatching it like a couple times more, I still love it, actually. Like, it's definitely my top 3 most surprising movies of the year behind Star X and Wonka. Like, I love the themes that I tell. It's when they don't really, like, beat down on men as you'd think you would, which I'm actually thankfully impressed by. It's a film that actually has a lot of charm, a lot of heart. Margot Robbie does one of the best performances, and Ryan Gosling. The way he, like, deconstructs, like, the certain elements, themes, it's just fantastic. It's a film that just had a big grin on my face throughout. It has probably the best soundtrack of the year, honestly, with a lot of these hits I still jam out to, honestly. Of course, No One Beat Dance Tonight, I'm Just Ken, and of course, What Was I Made For? Like, say what you want, but you can on the soundtrack is fucking killer. I love how it's good job with satire without being like too in your face about it, which again I'm thankfully grateful for. And then we have Oppenheimer, the latest masterpiece from Christopher Nolan, who taken through as well, he's one of the best directors working today, honestly. I wasn't sure this was going to be a one and done for me, but I actually did end up trying to rewatch it. And one of all Nolan movies is one I'm not going to go back to very often, which, like I said, rewatch factor is always a big deal, but some of them are exceptions, and Oppenheimer is definitely a masterful filmmaker, and he delivers some of his best directing work yet. I haven't seen that are just so directly, like, beautifully done. Like, the directing, the sound design, and the cinematography are just magical. It's got a top-tier performance of his cast, especially Rob Downey Jr. But everyone does fantastic, especially Rob Downey Jr., like I mentioned, and Cillian Murphy. One of the beats, like, as like 90% dialogue, it is just amazing. Amazing how that is along with Oppenheimer and how it's a very unique perspective. Like, there's so much to adore about these movies. Honestly, and yeah, I can't say which one like more, so I decided, why not put them 5 and make it a tie since they're both the same weekend. Oppenheimer was a big event. So like, why the hell not? So yeah, Oppenheimer is number 5. Now, at number 4, my top 4, now, like you mentioned, there are some movies on this list that I honestly I consider now to be all-time favorites. And one thing at some point, Oppenheimer and Barbie could actually be like favorites, so I think Born a Hero could also be one, in the holdovers. My top 4 are definitely defend the movies I consider that I would really put in my top 100 films of all time, actually. Like, would it be like Taiwan movie or just like missed that list? Like, all 4 of these movies are fantastic. So now we get to my number 4, and that is Killers of the Flower Moon. The latest film from Martin Scorsese, which I actually did before I watched his movie, I actually marathon all his movies, which is something I've always wanted to do because there are some of his movies I've not seen before, honestly. And again, say what you will about Martin Scorsese, there is a reason why he is considered to be one of the great directors of all time. Because right from like 1 or 2 times, I pretty much adore almost all of his filmography, actually. I actually was surprised at how much I love a lot of the movies, especially the ones I have not seen yet. And Killers of the Flower Moon is no exception to that rule, honestly. Aside from that's like, sure, honestly, I would not mind like coming back to the actual runtime because how invested I was. Like the way he directs a lot of the story elements, the direction, the performances from Leonardo DiCaprio, Lama De Niro, like Gladstone, the way the characters develop, a lot of great surprises, and the character development throughout. Kind of that with incredible production values, amazing editing and cinematography, and one of the best scores of the year, my add, along with his incredible direction. Like, this is a film that's just so wow. Like, damn. Despite a long time, this is one of those long movies I can actually see myself come back to. Not often, but once left is what I do. I definitely appreciate and admire what it does with the story that I was really compelled with throughout. And it's just another excellent film in Scorsese's incredible filmography. Now we get to my top 3, and honestly, this was definitely my definitive top 3, honestly. These are films that I've definitely seen, like, of course, in the first half of the year, and they still managed to be in my top 3. Introduce a film that a lot of people are going to have in that best of the year list, honestly, and for good reason. As coming in at number 3, we have John Wick Chapter 4. The highest John movies made on this list. Again, I love the previous movies, and this is definitely one of the best action franchises for a reason. Like we saw in 2014, 17, and 19 list, all the films made those lists. And I think like the first one was number 9, Chapter 2 was like 17, like 13, if I remember correctly. I think Chapter 3 was like 16 on 2019, but this is my top 3, so yeah, this is by a landslide the best of the franchise in my opinion. Yeah, I always debate between Mystery and Mirror is one of my favorite, but after seeing this movie, this is definitely my favorite. Like, it takes all the great elements from the previous John Wick movies and manages to really deliver. You got crazy, insane action that sometimes even more bombastic and crazy than the other movies, which is really exciting something. Got incredible directing, some of the most impressive action choreography ever, some of the best storytelling in the entire franchise, where it hit some pretty heart-wrenching emotional notes. Combined down with the great score, great directing, great production design, and some really interesting surprises in the narrative. Like, oh my god, like some of us like, Jesus. It's a film that's spent a lot of time. It kind of flows on by. It's a film that I have blast when I come back to it, honestly. I'm not optimizing it right now, but I think when I get the Blu-ray or something, I can easily like have this movie on repeat. But yeah, this movie is goddamn kick-ass. If I just sound the best in the franchise, while the other 3 movies are like also incredible action films, this is saying something. Yeah, definitely one of those action films that's definitely destined to be a classic, for good reason. And it is true that the last will get out the actual mainline John Wick movies. I couldn't think of a more satisfying conclusion. Honestly, I think it's best to end it here, honestly. Like, don't try to like milk it out, honestly. Best to end it here. Now we get to my top 2, which, considering that there's been a lot of talk of superhero fatigue coming out in 2023, honestly, like more than ever recently, especially when a lot of the big ones, bomb. Like, my top 2, spoiler, my top 2 are basically superhero movies. Some ones I was excited for the most this year. I think this is actually my top 2, honestly, of the year, if I remember correctly. And again, to be my top 2 of the year. Which is interesting, but yeah, these movies ended up really impacting me, and I'll definitely prove that. I don't think super fatigue really is the fact that there's too many. It's the one fact that a lot of them end up feeling the same, and these movies end up standing out. So, coming in number 2 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Again, I love Into Spider-Verse 2018. Again, it's a film that I loved. And how they somehow managed to up the ante with this movie, it's insane. Again, another year to be a Spider-Man fan with this, along with Spider-Man 2 that came out earlier this year, which is, in terms of 2023 games that came out, is my favorite game of the year. Not in terms of like actual games, again, you see my list for that, but it's somehow managed to up in terms of the animation, well, the animation is definitely some of the most impressive animation you will ever see. Find out we still have the great compelling narrative that the movie had, but Miles goes through a really compelling arc throughout the movie. How the film really deconstructs these Spider-Man mythos is insane. Like, oh my god, to say how it deconstructs all of that, which I was not expecting. What does explain when he was great, honestly, as well. The humor is great. How it does with the Lord Spider-Man is really compelling and interesting. The action is just amazing. Again, if you're like the biggest Spider-Man ever, you're gonna get so much in terms of the Easter eggs and the references, but still having a very compelling narrative. Like again, if it was given the wrong hands, they could easily just be reference after reference, but no, they managed to have a compelling narrative. Well, yeah, it definitely ends in not the most satisfying way, honestly, which I think probably the only reason why this film actually is number 1. I think once it gets where we do get beyond the Spider-Verse, honestly, this film actually could be number 1 at some point down the road, but I think number 2 is a good spot, but again, I still adore this movie so much, and I can definitely see myself come back to movies so often and so regularly like I do Into Spider-Verse. The fact it ended up being better in Spider-Verse is a feat of itself. But now, we have made it to my number 1 favorite movie of 2023. The film in 2023 I have enjoyed the most throughout the year. The film that I felt the most emotion, the film I could see myself come back to the most, the film that had the most heart and emotion out of any movie I saw this year. Anyone I saw this movie, I don't think it was going to take a lot for a film to really, really touch upon it. And for me, my number one favorite movie of 2023 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The film of 2023 that I adored the most. Again, I've always loved the previous Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Like, it's probably not been my favorite franchise in the MCU. But this movie right here, oh my god, I adored this movie to no end. I've watched it a lot of times since I got this Blu-ray, and it's a film that holds a special place in my heart. Again, I've already loved the previous two movies, honestly. Like, the first one was for a while my most rewatched MCU movie. And while Volume 2 watched that, I still adored that movie. But this movie definitely made those movies so much better by having an incredible, compelling narrative, and the way it develops a lot of these characters, the way it delivers a lot of the humor and charm and heart that you expect from these movies at this point. While going to routes that you normally wouldn't expect an MC movie to go for, yet they let James Gunn do what he wants. And honestly, this is, along with the Suicide Squad, this is James Gunn at his absolute best. The humor, the character moments, how it develops Rocket Raccoon's backstory around messing with the pacing. You really feel the emotion and stakes in this movie. The way it develops all the characters, and the way it doesn't go for the easy ways out here, like it normally would. The way it improves a lot of characters' arcs, and the way it makes some characters actually end up better on stuff, like especially Mantis and Nebula and Gamora. Along with the great killer soundtrack that you normally would expect. That offers some great action sequences, some really compelling villains, along with one of the most beautiful endings I have ever seen. An ending that literally had me cry my eyes out. That I'm having feel so much emotion, so much heartbreak when I watch it in the theaters. And every time I come back to it, I just appreciate it so much more. And it easily makes Rocket Raccoon the best Guardian. I always thought Rocket Raccoon was my favorite Guardian, honestly. But this film really confirms that. Like, a film that just spots me so many emotions and so much heart to it. Was that actually now a top 3 MCU movie along with Endgame and No Way Home? I could easily see this movie really rising up, honestly, in my favorite films of all time, my favorite superhero movies, period. It's weird that superhero movies by all the fatigue this year end up being my number 1 again. And also I No Way Home as my number 1 in 2022 and 2021. But hey, when a movie is good, it's good. And honestly, I don't think any movie 2020 have me feel more emotion than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is why it is my favorite movie of 2023. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed me discussing my top 20 favorite movies of 2023. Again, let me know down below in the comment section, what are your favorite movies of the year? What movies did you saw the most? And any movies that on our list I should have seen? Again, I would love to know down below in the comment section. I would love discussion on that. Like I said, I'm mostly going to be doing mostly TikTok next year, honestly. Honestly, I'm done with doing stuff on YouTube like I said in the video I would, but like once we do any customs that I list that down below. I'll probably do that on YouTube. And I might do like a couple of series on YouTube, like maybe when I'm done watching all the Godzilla movies, or done watching like certain franchises, and for a certain movie, I might do a video on that. So, like, we'll see how it goes and see what I'm feeling doing it. Like, I'm still thinking as it goes, but you know, not like stressing out about it. So, but yeah, been angry on YouTube, but thank you for those that say they enjoy my content and they enjoy my videos. It's always much appreciated. I am Sam One World from Sam One Sessions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool, everybody. Peace.